Wow, I never thought I'd make this video, okay? But the gay allegations are something I've received my entire life since I was a baby. I kid you not. When I was a baby, yeah, like people do like this thing for like gay people, like weak wristed. As a baby, I'm like this all the time. Like this is just how I went through life as a baby. Okay, I had no choice. I was born with weak wrists, legitimately. And then one time, someone got into an argument with my dad, and they called me an F slurry a baby, F slurry a word baby. This is nothing new. I've legitimately heard this my entire life. But what made me do this today, right, is because in the comment section to my video from yesterday, how to avoid being a provider man, this dude said, I don't know if you can see it, but he said, this came to my feed for a reason, and I know why. It was to tell you that you are indeed gay, my friend, and it's entirely okay to come out. Seriously, I'm not hating. I got no idea why this popped up in my feed, but clearly you're struggling with it. Again, not being a bully. And there are a couple things that come to mind with that. For one, it's like I'm telling you essentially to not let a woman use you for your money, and that's when I get the gay allegations, like on that video in particular. We've somehow let the internet gaslight us into thinking that's like the marker of heterosexuality, like wanting to pay for women's things for some reason. I don't know. But the other reason, the other thing is I don't like the whole like just come out narrative when it comes to gay people who you think are closeted, especially over social media. Because the thing is, you don't know everyone's situation. Like personally, I'm in a situation where I'm gay and I come out, no one's gonna come beat me up. Like I don't have any like friends that are gonna cut me off or not talk to me anymore. Like that's not something I would struggle with in coming out. It's like, yeah, like you think I'm gay and you tell me to come out, that's not really gonna put me in too much of a pressing situation. But it's like there are other people you don't know their situation. There are people where their families would cut them off, their friends would cut them off, come to beat them up, stuff like that. It's like you see it on the time. Like just open Twitter. Someone said like, oh, if your friend comes out as gay, like you have to unalive them. And obviously this was like more of like a gang member type dude, but still it's like that logic doesn't leave a lot of people's minds. So the whole like come out it's safe narrative, just because now like if someone says the F slur they get canceled on social media, that doesn't it doesn't apply to everybody. Like it doesn't apply to everybody's lives. Back when I was playing football, bro, if I would have told people I was gay, I would have gotten beaten up senselessly. Okay, senselessly. Mind you, you ask coach, you ask anybody like on like the staff, any person who's like just a part of like Penn State, like like faculty wise, they'd be like, oh yeah, we don't stand for homophobia, we accept all people, blah 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 blah. But that's just not always indicative to like what's going on in the day to day of somebody's life. So again, as I told you, I may not be in that kind of situation, but for you to just tell someone to like come out because it's okay is very insensitive. And I see women tend to do that a lot, and it's so annoying to see. It's like they talk about like, oh man, these men are hyper masculine to cover up for the fact that they're gay, but it's like there's a reason they're hyper masculine. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm no longer on the football team, and I don't deal with those guys anymore. There's a guy who could be in my same situation, and like they're still friends with like those kinds of other like hyper masculine homophobic type men. They would completely lose their friendship and possibly be physically harmed. My old roommate told me that literally that if it was legal to unalive gay people, just go around doing it, that he would do it. And that if I was gay, I would be one of the people who are unalived. My bad for saying unalived if that bothers you. I don't know the rules on YouTube, so I'm just being careful. But my point is, despite where society is at large, a lot of people are in situations where they feel like they can't come out. Because sometimes, truthfully, they can't. And I feel like people know that. Not exactly the person who commented on my thing, but I feel like sometimes when women say that, they know that, and they're just using it to kind of like jab at closeted men. Here's the other thing about that, and this is kind of on the topic of the video he chose to comment this on, and I'm not sure like whether or not like this is part of his decision, but that video had like another gay comment too that's kind of just like a throwaway like gay accusation. Like my thing is, you can sit here and tell me I'm gay, and I honestly won't really care that much generally, just because like you telling me I'm gay, it changes nothing in my life, so it doesn't really matter to me, okay? However, when your reasoning for that is something that's kind of odd, that's when I get bothered. If you think I'm gay because my earrings, the way I talk, I've been told I have a very gay voice, or if you think I'm gay because of, hold up, let me fit this right, because how I dress, or how I dress, come here, or how I dress, like you see what I'm getting at here? If you truly honestly in your heart say that I'm gay and like those are the reasons why, I just think that's a bit funny. Like I think it's like tee hee ha ha, like I think it's silly, right? But when people say like I'm gay because of like the way I treat women, that's when I'm like you're kind of expanding past your territory. Because for one, I am attracted to women, maybe, allegedly, who knows. But so that's one thing. Not to mention there's always bisexual erasure, right? But even when people accuse me of being bisexual for how I interact with women, it's like, what does that have to, how would me being bisexual, what would that have to do with me interacting with women? Because the whole thing is like, oh, men who are closeted DL, they treat women like this because they're not attracted to them, or they're jealous that like like men are attracted to them or something. Why would a bisexual man have the same issue? Like, what issue would a bisexual man have with a woman? Like that, you know what I mean? Like, you see what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. But as for me being homosexual, like, what is it that like I say like on these like gender debate type topics that really like give that? You know what I mean? The fact that I don't want to provide for a woman, the fact that I don't want to spend all my money on a woman for no reason. Is that not a reasonable thought that a straight man would also share? Or when I say things like I'm more attractive than women, which one of these days I promise you I'm gonna make a YouTube video where the headline is gonna be I'm more attractive than women, and we're gonna talk about it for a bit. But me saying that, they say like it means I'm gay because I'm competing with women, and it's like, for one, it doesn't make me gay. It makes me a feminist, all right? Because any woman can compete with any man and vice versa. So it's like, I feel like it's a sign of respect that I'm comparing myself to women rather than men. I'll tell you exactly why most of the time I don't compare myself to men, okay? Because I don't feel like it's much of a comparison. I don't feel like it's competition in the looks department, okay? I feel like I have to compete with women in the looks department. Like, because I feel like perception-wise, it's much easier for a lot of people to find women more attractive than men, even though that's not always the case. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on it because I gotta save the rest for the video. But it's like, bro, you take a man and a woman. I'm not even gonna say me right now, but you take a man and a woman, and like you're like, oh, like who has the better bone structure? Who has the better skin? You know, who has the better eyes? Who has the better features? And it's like at all close, right? And it's like in favor of the woman, but she has like a full face of you know what on. I'll give it to her. Like in that moment, she's more attractive, but does it make her more attractive like as a human being, or does it just make her a better artist than that man? Anyways, I'm neither here nor there, okay? But my point is, people think I'm gay for like having those kinds of opinions. I just feel like it's a realistic opinion to have. They think I'm gay for not being a misogynist. That's the crazy part, okay? Because mind you, women have been fighting for the rights for men to compare themselves to them, for them to compare themselves to men, you know, all that stuff. But then it's like when we actually do compare, it's an issue. But mind you, I guarantee you, you can go on Twitter right now. You can see some man that says something to a woman. The first thing she's going to do is compare herself to his looks. I think that's completely valid, okay? Because people have faces. And the thing is, men and women are not different enough for you to not be able to compare what they look like. That's why androgyny is a thing, okay? That's why a man can look like a woman can look like a man. You know, sometimes, you know, you make mistakes. It's like you're sitting here telling me that people will compare the cuteness of cats to the cuteness of dogs. Like, oh, like, you know, which pet is cuter? Oh, which between, like, oh, there's a baby zebra, but then look at this baby elephant, who's cuter? But you don't want to compare men and women's faces. Like, what are we talking about? Women can grow facial hair, men can put on makeup. So it's like there's nothing, you know what I'm saying? And women do grow facial hair, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's natural bodily functions. I'm just saying, we are all human beings. Our bone structures are the same. If the key term of like bisexuality existing means that you can compare the looks of men and women, then all of a sudden it's like out the blue, like, no, like don't compare. It's like you can't. If you compare us, you're wrong. And it's just like, bro, like be for real. The point is, people call me gay for that. People call me gay for having these dating stories where I'm not exactly doing the best by these other people. And my thing about that is like, what makes you assume that I'm gonna treat a man so much better? You're really gonna look me in the eyes and tell me that while I was in all these, you know, situations I didn't want to commit, that the reason why that happened was that I would commit to a man? Like, you know, some people are just non-committal. Some people just in general don't like committing to things. If someone asked me at like 11 a.m., hey, do you want to do this thing at 5 p.m.? I'm not going to be able to give them an answer because I don't like committing that far ahead. Some people just don't like commitment. Look, this is not me trying to tell you that I'm not gay because I'm not saying that at all. But my point is, your reasoning's very flimsy. And look, here's the thing. The talking point's been done. But the fact that you correlate the mistreatment of women with homosexuality, that it literally is just homophobia, okay? I'm not going to talk about that too much, but like, yeah, that's what it is. Here's the thing. I've known many men, and I feel like people don't talk about this. I've known many men who are in the closet, okay? Very much like gay, not telling anybody, didn't feel like they could tell anybody. Perfectly normal citizens, completely treated women with respect, everything like that. And then they came out and it's like, oh, sweet, you're gay. For that to be the foregone conclusion of like men treating women disrespectfully, it's because they're gay, when there's no like reflective correlation, it's just a bit, it's asinine. Like, I would love for there to be a study. I don't know if they could ever do this, but on how many like men who are closeted were like these horrible men that everyone claims that they are, or just normal guys that were happen to be closeted. But speaking of closeted, you know what also bothers me about the allegations? I always get like DL closeted allegations. When did I ever tell anybody I was straight? That's my major problem with so many of you. I never said I was straight, never said I was gay, never said I was bisexual, anything like that. But it's like people project it onto me and expect to like hold me accountable for what they think I told them, which I never told them. You know, being closeted implies that like I had to say like at some point like, oh yeah, like I'm a straight man, or I had to tell you like, oh yeah, like I'm not attracted to men, I don't involve myself with men at all, when I've never said any of that. Oh yeah, editing BRS here. Something I don't say in words in the video, I definitely allude to it, but like something I don't say completely is like, because people are always like, oh bro, like why don't you just say what you are? The thing is, I know no matter what, there's gonna be a selection of people who aren't gonna believe me, like no matter what I say, you know what I mean, right? And it's like, it's just like a position I don't want to put myself in. And the thing is, one thing I also hate is being called a liar, right? So it's like, also, if I say what I am and people accuse me of lying, I'll start tripping. Okay, so it's like, that's why I don't even want to entertain the notion of like telling anybody what it is. Like, I truly would rather people just think what they want to think. And then, mind you, another thing that makes me so mad is I get like the fake gay, like the queer baiting allegations, and I'm like, I've never said anything. So it's like, people, it's like they, at first they like assume I'm straight or like straight presenting, and then they're like, oh man, this guy's closeted, he's actually gay. And then it's like, I just keep existing, and then they're like, no, like he just wants us to think he's gay, he's queer baiting. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here making my content, okay? And like that video I made where I was like, how to pull women when they think you're weird and gay, a lot of people were like on Twitter talking about it like, oh, you know, he thinks he's so feminine, like he thinks like he's so like gay for like wearing like earrings, but that's like all it is, blah 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 blah, like earrings don't make you gay, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, first of all, I tried telling you guys that a long time ago. So second of all, y'all were the ones that was saying I was gay because I was wearing hoop earrings. I was wearing long drop earrings. That like made me a homosexual in your opinion. I let y'all have that. I was like, okay, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But now all of a sudden it's like, oh, he's doing that performatively so that we think he's gay, or oh, he's doing that and he thinks that's all it takes to like be like queer or whatever. And I'm like, bro, like I've never like said any of these things that you're projecting onto me. That's why, bro, Twitter, horrible place. Even TikTok, bro, there's a dude on TikTok who said that like I was a straight man pretending to be a gay man, pretending to be a straight man to make women hate gay men. Like how much sense does that make at all? I swear, bro, all because I wear earrings. And maybe because I have a little gay lisp. That's what people tell me. I haven't heard it myself, but like, that's what they tell me. Can you believe that? Honestly, it's, at this point, I feel like I'd respect it a lot more if people were just like, you know, it's just a vibe I'm getting. You know, like just not pretending that they have some like professional reasoning. Like, bro, you know, I saw you at a Charlie XCX concert, and it's just a vibe. Because truly, it is just a vibe. You know, that's where it all comes from. Because even long before the earrings, long before I obtained my adult voice, even when I was a kid, my sister was saying I was gay before we even knew what gay was. By the way, I'm so sorry if I seem a bit locked out right now. I'm eating this Mediterranean green and grains salad from Panera Bread, and it's so good. I'm getting so distracted. Before I'd be like 6 or 7 years old, my sister would always be accusing me of liking boys, okay? Like in front of people too. I'd be like, man, like, this is crazy. But mind you, it was at an age like before a gay allegation would be like critical to the man's like psyche. I mean, a growing like boy's psyche. Because, you know, there's that, I think is it like probably like middle school? Like, I think around that age, like if you get called gay, it was kind of like a no, like kicking and screaming. I remember I used to go around middle school mortified. I'd be like, oh no, like is someone gonna call me gay? Because I saw it happening to everyone else. Okay, so I was trying to avoid it myself. But then one day I remember I was on the bus, and someone did something gay, and I don't mean I don't mean like lame. Like they did something that was actually like gay. Like they were making like a gay joke, and I kind of like winced at it. And then this dude looked at me and he was like, Bryce, you're so afraid to be gay. And when he said that to me, I was like, bro, that was a complete read. Because again, I was horrified of getting a gay allegation. And I was like, it's kind of embarrassing to be horrified of that. So never again was I scared. That man changed the trajectory of my life. And we were like 12. It's kind of insane, right? So genuinely after that, I didn't really care about the allegations. That's why that girl I dated who was like, like you're gay. I didn't really care. Like she was calling me gay because she, I don't know if like she choked me when we were sleeping together. And she was like, it was a test. And you failed, so now you're gay because you like that I choked you while we were sleeping together. And I'm like, okay. Like we're having hetero relations right now, right? Like she's literally bouncing on it, right? Hands around my neck. And she's like, you're gay for enjoying this. And I'm like, hey, that's gay. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, and a girl I dated before that, she told and this is when I learned, okay? I was like, look, if you're into something in the bedroom, don't let it be a secret. Because don't let people think they have like a reveal over you. She told everyone that, you know, I wanted, you know, to get eaten from the back, and that I want to get hit from the back as well. So of course that postulated a lot of the gay allegations. But the thing is, again, it's like I didn't care because I was like, yeah, like that is what I want, that is what I desire. So I don't know what you want me to tell you at that point. But yeah, and she said one more thing that made me so mad when I found out, because mind you, I was 14 when I dated this woman, right? 14. So like a child, you know what I mean? And one day, I didn't find this out till I was in like 1920. I was playing video games with my friend. Somehow meat came up, and it came out that she said that my meat was average. Okay, now mind you, she like moved school districts like either like freshman or sophomore year. So I know this is a rumor that started back then, but my problem is I was 14. The full meat didn't even come in yet. My grown up meat didn't come in yet. That's like telling like a baby, like a child, like they have small teeth and like their baby teeth haven't all fallen out yet. Your meat doesn't stop growing at 14. So why are we stopping the count right there? You know, like full disclosure, at 14, I was at like 6. Okay, but I had more to go. So it's like, I see what she was saying back then, but it's like, can we acknowledge, like, at that time, we're 14-year-olds, I clearly have more to go. The road is not over. But yeah, but honestly, if you remember how that situation ended, basically, I got with her best friend. And so she really just wasn't happy with me a lot of the time. So I feel like it makes sense, like, why she wouldn't put respect on the meat. So thank God, later throughout high school, I started getting around a bit more, you know, getting my meat slopped up and whatnot. So then, like, the rumors, like, they were setting the record straight, okay? They called me big, they didn't call me Big Meat Bryce, but like the big meat rumors then began. I remember there's this one dude, like, this girl slapped me up, and then like a week later, like, he came up to me. And the thing about this guy, he was so annoying. Like, he kept trying to like get with any woman I've been with, and then like rub it in. He's like, any woman you've been with, I gotta get with her too. And it's like, bro, like, okay, like, that's fine. Basically, that girl slapped me up, and he was like, oh yeah, so and so said that she slapped you up last week. She said your meat was big. Yeah, and now she wants to slap me up. And I'm like, bro, like, leave me alone. And when I tell you, this dude was the most annoying dude ever, because apparently his meat was at 9, right? And he was always letting everybody know about it. I remember one time. No, okay, oh my gosh. One time, me, him, and this other dude, we're in a hotel room, right? Because basically, we're visiting like this college, and like it was just all 3 of us in a hotel room. I was sleeping on the couch. It doesn't matter though. But this dude was laying in the bed, right? And he was like talking to us about like how big his meat was. He was like, oh yeah, you know, it's 9 inches. And like so and so was like saying blah 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 blah. So they're talking about women. And then when me and like my friend got the room, we're like, bro, why was he telling us about that? It's like, bro, like. Like, there was one point in the conversation where my friend was like, bro, like, we get it. Like, we don't need to know this. And I remember there's another situation. It was me, him, and like a different friend. So basically, well, meat sizes came up. And then he was like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, mine's 9. And then I said mine. And then the other dude, he was like, oh, like, mine's 7. And like, when I tell you, he like put his hand on the shoulder, like that meme. He was like, bro, like, it's okay. Like, that's big for some girls. I'm like, bro, like, why are you trying to make this dude feel bad? Okay, no, actually, he didn't say some girls. He said, oh, you know, no, it's okay. Like, that's big for girls. And it's like, bro, it's still like, bro, like, why are you? Because the thing is, when he said 7, he said like, he was like 7. Like he genuinely looked sad because. Anyway, bro. Anyways, that dude, bro, well, I'll tell you, in high school, he was the most annoying guy ever, because he would always do stuff. I remember one time we were in the weight room. For one, he would always talk about his meat. But also, I was in the weight room. I was benching. Mid-bench, oh my gosh, I almost cursed. Smacked me on the stomach multiple times, bro. I almost fought this dude that day. And he just kept trying to smash every girl I was with, bro. So, yeah, that was irritating. But I'll tell you, like, he actually is, like, a solid dude. Like, to this day, like, I remember I posted like sometimes like I'll like on my Snapchat, like I'll post like hate comments like when I think they're really funny, but I feel like some people like think I post them like out of like upsetness, which is whatever, okay. But like he slid up and he's like, oh bro, you're good, you know, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. I'm like, you know what, you know, we grew up, you're actually a solid dude, all right. So respect to him. But yeah, but back to me being gay. Okay, I remember it was my junior year of high school. I think I went to high school in a fur coat. I was wearing, oh my gosh, I think I have the picture. Here it is. This is me. I posted on Twitter. Basically, I went to school wearing this outfit, right? And then there was like a selection of women who were like, oh, he's gay. Like, this is him coming out. Like, this is him like doing his thing. The crazy thing is, if they thought this was a gay outfit, they had no idea what they were in for. Oh my gosh, look at my youth. Like, look, bro, that was how I was coming. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but I wore that fit, and everyone was telling me that was like a gay fit. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, oh yeah, like all the women are saying like you're like gay now, like because you wore the fur coat. Now they were not taking no for an answer either. Honestly, I didn't care, because like all the women with the accusations, they were less than desirable, so like it was okay. Oh no, but I had this big history of like people thinking like I put on fits, and it's like my version of like coming out, and it's like, girl, please, sorry, I dropped some. But like, it's like, nah, like that's simply not how it works. Oh my gosh, I don't know how, but that reminded me, I have a crazy story for you. So basically, me, my friend's girl, and my friend's girl's friend all took like psychs together, right? So we started tripping. And basically, the potency of what we took was so high, like I'm experienced, my friend's experienced, like we had never seen anything like that at that point in time. So we're tripping crazy hard, right? And basically, you know, they had like a 2-story like apartment type thing. So then like, you know, basically, I'm not gonna tell you the whole trip story, but we end up getting separated. So my friend and his girl are downstairs in their room. It's dark upstairs, right? I'm just with my friend's girl's friend. And she To my eye, it looks like she's tweaking. Mind you, this is her first time doing anything like this, but she looks like she's having a bad trip. And the thing is, I simply did not have the facilities because I was tripping so hard to help anybody out while they were tripping. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell you exactly what she did. Okay, so mind you, we are tripping. If you know what it's like, you know what it's like. But she's like sitting like this and she's like, "Did you say something?" I did not say anything. I'm like, no, I didn't say anything. And then she was like, "Okay, you're not talking to me right now?" And I was like, "No." So in my mind, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, she's hearing voices." And my worst fear whenever I'm tripping with people is I'm afraid that they're going to scream. And I don't know what they're going to. That's always my biggest fear. Like if I feel like someone's having a bad trip, I'm like, "Please don't scream." So basically I say, "Oh, I'm going to go check on my friend and my friend's girl." And cuz I'm at this point, I'm like, I need help. I'm like, I can't be alone with her because she is scaring me and I feel like I'm about to have a bad trip because I'm so scared. Anyways, I go to my friend's room. I'm like, "Bro, please don't be sleeping together. Please don't be sleeping together." I open the door. They weren't sleeping together. I was like, "Thank God." I walked in. I couldn't talk. Like words could not come out of my mouth. I was just like grunting. And then like I sat down in a chair next to the bed. And I was like, bro, I was tweaking, bro. But anyways, I went down there, completely forgot that I wanted to tell them that like I wanted us all four to be together because that one girl was scaring me. And basically, the one girl, she ended up coming in like later on, right? And she was completely fine when she came in, but then later on she started tweaking. She's like, "Oh, like we have to get out the room, blah blah blah," because she was talking about my friend and his girl, like, "Oh, like they need alone time to talk about whatever." And again, I don't want to say this in front of her, really. You know, I don't really know how to say it. I don't want to be alone with her. I'm scared of that. So I'm just like, no, like, I think we should all stay in the room. And then, mind you, my friend, he's like, "Yeah, bro, like, let's just all stay in the room. You know, like, we're all tripping, like, everything's fine." Anyways, this woman's insisting on me and her leaving the room, right? And I'm like, no, like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not going to tell you the whole trip story. But basically, ever since that day, the things I've explained it to my friend, and he knows, so he thinks it's funny. But ever since that day, she thinks I am attracted to my friend in like a homosexual way. And I believe the reason she thinks that because like she was saying like I heard like from a friend of hers that like she just like caught like a vibe, but really I feel like the vibe was the fact that I didn't want to leave the room. Because I didn't want to be alone with her. So like it felt like I was like trying to stay there to him with him to like be there with him. But it's like no, like I was literally just scared of being alone with this woman. But ever since that moment, she thinks I'm like attracted to him. And mind you, she's telling her friend, which is my friend's girl, the same thing. So it's like now like my friend's girl is like, "Ooh, like is Bryce attracted to him?" Like she's like worried about it. And it's like, oh, so irritating. What makes me upset about that is for one, luckily my friend like I explained it to him, and he never thought like that was the case whatsoever. But it's like I explained to him, he just thinks it's funny. But it's like say like he didn't understand, right? Like say it was a situation where she's like, "Oh, I caught this vibe," and then she tells his girl and his girl tells him, and then he's like, "What? That's crazy." And then me and him aren't friends anymore, not based off like, you know, gayness or anything, but just based off the fact where it's like, "Oh, like it seems like you're attracted to me on a level I'm not attracted to you." So I just feel like it's irresponsible for you to tell someone that you think I'm attracted to someone else based off a hunch you had when you were extremely high, like so high that you barely remember parts of the night. Especially like male friendships specifically, like I feel like two like women, you know, like they could get through that, you know, like if one was like, "Wait, are you attracted to me?" But if there's two men and one's like, "Wait, are you attracted to me?" Bro, they cannot be friends. You know what I mean? Overall, like I just feel like there's better reasons at your disposal to accuse me of being gay. So it's like when it comes down to things like, "Oh, you were wearing this outfit," like it's laughable. Because not to get on my soapbox here, but clothes don't have an orientation. You know what I mean? Like if you say like see like a gay man who's dressing like, I don't know, like a straight man per se, like you're not gonna accuse him of like actually being straight. So it's like, again, this correlation is never reflective. It's always, "Oh, men who do this are gay," but it's never, "Oh, men who don't do this are straight." So it just doesn't register with me. Okay, but I have a couple more stories of people telling me that I'm gay. It's so funny. It's crazy because there's so many moments where like that like just whizzed by my head at the time where I'm like, oh, like now I'm like, oh, people are saying this because like they're like, "Oh, you're gay." Like whole time I think these are normal interactions. Like I think this is just how people talk to people. And when I tell you literally like two faculty members off the top of my head. I remember one day I almost said arrested. I got in trouble for taking my shirt off outside the school. And they took me into the office and then they're like, "Oh, like, you know, why would you do that? Girls were out there, boys were out there." And I didn't realize why they said that. Like, I didn't realize they were kind of like insinuating that they think like I'm gay until something like that kind of happened again. Like, basically, when I was playing football, I made it onto like the dean's list or something. And then they were like, oh, like, you know, they gave me a call, like one of my advisors. They're like, yo, like, you know, congrats, like I'm making the dean's list. And then they were basically, it was like one of my first semesters at school, or it was my first semester at school. So they're giving me like a speech like, yo, like stay focused, you know, don't get distracted by these girls. And then there was a pause and it was like, or boys. And then there was another pause. You know, I was kind of just like sitting there on the phone. And the thing is, I just thought that's how people like talk to people. But then I brought it up later and someone was like, no, like they're absolutely like saying that you're gay. And I was like, oh. I remember I had this friend where basically like she like, there was this dude where she was friends with him like from her hometown. And then he came to visit her. And then she whispered in my ear, like he's sitting like right across from us. We're just like talking about whatever. She whispers in my ear, he's gay, but nobody knows that. I think she's just being messy, like telling me tea, because at this point, like me and her are like best friends. But I'm like, was she telling me that to like put me on? Like, was she trying to get me to slide on him? And then one more, this is my favorite one, okay? It was one weekend, me and my roommate at the time, we went out with like this group of girls, right? Who we were just friends with, right? And basically I knew one of the friends, and then like I just met all the other friends that night. So basically we hung out that night, did whatever. And then the next day she like, we went to another function, right? But she just happened to be there. And then she was like, yo, Bryce, like, can I gas you up real quick? And I'm like, what? Like, what does that mean? It must have been before the term gassing up became popular, because I genuinely didn't know what she meant. But basically she was like, oh yeah, like just let me like stroke your ego. I was like, okay, fine. Basically she was telling me that all her friends like thought I was like super attractive, and they have like this like attractiveness scale that like includes celebrities, and I was on the I reached the highest level of the scale, and I was like, sweet, okay. Like, I love knowing that I'm handsome. But then something happened, okay? Basically, she was like, hey, like, let me know, like, you know, if you want me to put you on to like, you know, anybody here. And I'm like, okay, like I appreciate it. I don't like getting put on too much, because I'm like, I don't want to put the pressure on this person. Because I've been in the situation where like someone walks up to me to like introduce their friend, or someone I know introduces me to somebody. And it's a situation where it's like, now I'm kind of like pressured into dealing with you. And it's like, I don't want to put anybody else in that situation. Yes, I'm confident. I know I'm good looking. But again, I don't want to put someone in a situation where it's like they feel like they kind of have this duty to have this little conversation with me. And y'all know I much prefer, you know, my targets make the first move anyway. She was like, yeah, I can put you on any guy here. And I'm like, okay, but first of all, the thing is, this was not like a gay party or anything. I'm pretty sure like most, if not all, the men here were like at least like straight presenting. So I don't know where she was coming with that. But I was like, yo, like I was like, you know, I'm attracted to women, right? And she was like, oh yeah, like of course. But she was like, if you weren't though, like you could tell me. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate that. And she's like, yeah, but like, you know, you really could tell me. And I'm like, oh, like, thank you. Like, yeah. Basically, I don't remember exactly how it ended, but I remember the feeling in my heart when it ended. I was like, she 100% thinks I'm gay. She thought I was gay like before, but I know what I said in that conversation like confirmed in her mind that I was gay. These things I'm just like, oh yeah, like that, like if I could like tell you that, like I know, like thank you. But like it definitely did come across as like, oh, like I'm gay and I'm telling you. So yeah, the gay allegations are very funny to me, very, very comical. Oh yeah, I remember one time I was at this function, and this girl, she introduced this guy to me, because like I heard the guy talking. She's like, oh, he was like, oh, like, you know, I don't know if he's like straight or like bi or like gay or whatever. And then she like introduced me, and here's like, bro in general just was not appetizing. So I'm like, bro, why would you put me in this situation? If you're gonna put me on a man, put me on like a baddie. Like don't just let any dude like come slide in my like physical IRL DMs. She was a real friend for like the attempt, but like a fake friend for like the attempt. This thing is like, say people like think I'm like gay, bi, or whatever. They see me talking to this dude. I don't want them thinking like my gay standards are low. Like, nah, I want them thinking I'm like going for like top shelf gay guys. But yeah, it's overall, it's all very humorous to me. Okay. And also, I'm not gonna lie, the bisexual erasure makes it funny. I wish that it was like completely erased, because like it makes everything so much funnier pretending it doesn't exist. Because it's like when people's thought processes go to like, oh, he's gay, he doesn't like women, like there's much more like humorous responses for that, you know, than like if they just are like, oh, like he probably likes men too. You know what I mean? Because like when people imply I don't like women, like it's kind of like it lends itself to where I can make like funny jokes. It's like, oh, I'm gay. Well, you know, I'm here with this girl right now. And then people are like, oh, like, you know, you're just like using her so like people like don't think you're gay. And now I'm like, oh, like, you know, perhaps I am. Like maybe that's what I'm doing. People are just silly, and I think it's really funny. Okay. And is this the video? Yeah, it's pretty much the video. You know, this video originally, like yesterday, I was gonna make it a video about homophobia and how bad it is. Okay. But now I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I would just sat and been like, yeah, homophobia is bad. Maybe that's a video I'll make another day. Oh yeah, I know I was gonna tell you guys a story about when they thought I was a predator. I gotta stop telling you that I'm gonna tell you something the next day, because chances are I won't. Sometimes I just get inspired by something else. But yeah, at some point I want to make a video where I talk about like the homophobia from women is like worse than the homophobia from men, in my personal opinion, as someone who receives as you can see, vast amounts of homophobia from both genders. And things, the long and the short of it, I mean, here's the short of it. The long of it, I'm gonna give you another time. The thing is, when a man is being homophobic towards me, he's keeping it a buck. He's like, man, like, I hate you. I think you're gay. I want to beat you up for that reason. I can accept that, right? But when a woman is like trying to be like fake nice about it, it's the fact that it's the fake allyship that really bothers me. Because it's like, oh, like, you're calling me gay, but then like you're claiming, like, you're calling me gay in a demeaning, derogatory way, while also insisting that like you're just all for the LGBT, and you're not, okay? And you're truly not. And the things, if they truly were, a lot of these things happening to the LGBT wouldn't be happening, okay? But things, a lot of people, their money is not where their mouth is, okay? The bite is not where their bark is. But anyways, that is a video for another day. But I hope you enjoyed this one. State of affairs, I'm trying to think, what more do I got? But I'm grinding. I'm grinding Marvel Rivals because I will get to a respectable level before I tell you what level I'm at. Okay. And that's why I asked on Twitter earlier. I was like, yo, like, what's a respectable level? So yeah, there's that. Other than that, bro, I'm so tired. I just have no energy sometimes. I don't know what it is, man. But oh yeah, also I'm gonna eat only salads in February. That's a decision that I've made because I'm tired of eating things that aren't salads, to be honest. But on the record, I'm dedicating it to like Martin Luther King or Black History Month or something. And anything else, I don't know. But I mean, again, I'm loving posting daily. It's so fun. I love focusing on YouTube. I'm not going to talk your ear off about that today, but you know, thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say. I'm so sorry. I love you so much. Have a great day, night, evening.